What's up, y'all? Welcome back to In the Wild, and we have a very special interview that is about to take place because we have some folks that are going to talk to us a little bit about some upcoming community events that are happening this fall. So give a warm Jaguar welcome to Jordan Aslan and Jeff Kirchner.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Thanks, y'all, for being here. Diving right in, could y'all give us a little bit of an introduction about yourselves and about your connection to the Augusta community?
Sure. So my name's Jordan Aslan. I'm a sophomore at Augusta University. I want to get my bachelor's in science and nursing. It was kind of that love for the medical field that got me interested in days of service, specifically the Vol-in-JAG and Volunteer program that the university has. So it allows juniors and seniors in high school and then college students to go through a training program and be able to volunteer at the hospital, serving with the hospital staff there and helping to see more of the patient care side. And that's to see if that's a career that you want to go into. And for me, I just fell in love with it.
Love it. Well, thanks for having us here. My name is Jeff, and I've been here in the Augusta area for 25 years, and I've seen AU just go through 3 or 4 different name changes and grow and develop, and so proud to be part of the Days of Service. Our organization, Walk for Water, we were part of the organization Opportunity last year, and so I am a local physical therapist and a local pastor, and I've been part of the Walk for Water planning committee for the past 5 years. And so it's just so exciting to see students, to see people who are just developing and learning and having the opportunity to go out and to serve. And that's something that I think gets under your blood. I mean, when you get in it and you serve that first time, you just have that feeling of like, oh my gosh. And to see these amazing 20-somethings getting out and having this opportunity, I'm just very, very grateful to be part of not only this community CSRA as a whole, but part of the AU community.
So how did you get involved with Walk for Water? And for those who are unfamiliar, could you give us a little explanation of what it is, what the walk is about?
So the Walk for Water has been going 5 years, okay? And it is a unique experience. It's almost experiential walk. There's amazing walks for all different types of charities and whatnot. But this is different because we connect South Carolina, we connect Georgia. There's a unity in this event. It's an experiential walk, all right? So just briefly is you'll go to the Green Jacket Stadium, you and several hundred of your friends. You'll get a bucket, okay, an empty bucket. You walk across the bridge, down Riverwalk, okay? And you get to St. Peter's Church, and you fill up that bucket with dirty water. Then you walk back 1.5 miles, and you back over the bridge, back to the Green Jacket Stadium, and you pour this dirty water into this big, huge tub, and you look at it, you're like, that's gross water. But it's right next to this filtration system that pulls it out, and then we've got good, clean water. And so the experiential part is we want people just for a moment to experience what 1/3 of the world's population does every single day. With the exception is they don't have a filtration system on the other side. And so we want to bring awareness to the worldwide water crisis, okay, tongue tie, and also just bring awareness and let people know and support an organization that directly brings water to different communities. And so I first got started with it 5 years ago, and when I first started, I just kind of shrugged it off, just to be honest. I was like, okay, water thing, right, water thing. And as I learned more about it, I went actually down to, it's called Water Missions in Charleston, South Carolina. And to see the work that they do, how they can transform a community just in a couple months by bringing clean water to their community, it changes lives, it changes communities forever. So the impact is unbelievable. So said, I've got to be part of this organization.
Yeah, that sounds very impactful for an organization. Jordan, you were able to participate, I think.
I did, yeah. So the Volunteer and Vol-in-JAG program did I guess you could say a collab with Walk for Water, and we had the opportunity to be able to go as a group. So you could say with several hundred of our friends. There was only maybe 20 of us, but we all went together, and it was a lot of fun to be able to go with our friends and go to a community event. But then it seemed like just a fun little, we're just gonna go for a walk. And then the severity of everything really hit us that this is people's everyday life, and it's not fun at all. And we started walking, and on the way there with empty buckets, you're like, oh, this is easy. And then the way back with those buckets full of water, you're like, okay, my shoulders are getting sore. Okay, my hands are hurting. And so it really it really kind of broke our hearts, and to see that this is something that other people, real people struggle with. And so it burdened our hearts to be able, and made us want to be able to help.
What has kept you volunteering with AU for so long? Because you mentioned that you've been volunteering since high school.
Yeah, I really just love it. So I've known since my freshman year in high school that I wanted to be a nurse. It's something that I'm really, really passionate about. I'm really fascinated by the science of all of it, but at the same time, I just really have a heart for people and just want to love on them and help them get better. So with the program, there's some wonderful leadership there. Everyone who works in volunteer services, they're just amazing people, and they're so kind, and they're just so genuine. And so seeing that modeled in the leadership as well, just genuine heart of service, is really, really inspired me to keep serving as well, and just being encouraged by everyone there. But yeah, I love it, being able to be in the hospitals, seeing the impact that I can make, even though I am underqualified. I don't have a degree, especially when I was in high school. I was just some little 17-year-old kid, and I'm like, what difference can I make in the community? I'm just a 17-year-old. I don't have a fancy degree. I can't go and solve a water crisis at 17 years old. And so just being able to be in that field and being able to make a difference, if I can just help one person and make their day a little bit better, then I've done something good. And so I really love that community. I know every week I get so sad when I have to clock out, and I look forward again to when I can go back. It's just for that little 4-hour shift every week that I'm there. And I really just love it. I love getting to know the staff and seeing how so many different people of different qualifications in the care team at hospitals, how they all work together, and everyone has their own intricate role, and everyone has a very valuable role. And then just being able to love on patients. I've had patients I had one patient that he was in the hospital for several weeks, and so I would see him over and over again, and every time I would have a different dad joke for him. And they were so bad. They were so corny, and we would just crack up. And then I've had other days where sometimes you go in and they just need someone just to cry with them, or someone just to hold their hand, or just to listen. Because sometimes the hospital rooms can be really boring, and they just need someone just to listen and just treat them more like a person and less like a patient. And so I love that side of it.
And I'm sure they appreciate all of the years of service you've been able to provide. What about you, Jeff? What has kept you with Walk for Water for 5 years?
I think it's the impact, and I think the impact that volunteering and service has. And not so much, we love Walk for Water. I'm a big fan, sign up right now. We get that. But the reality is last year I participated in the AU, the service fair, right, where there was so many different organizations lined up, and as I got, and then students would come and hear about different organizations, and as I took a moment and just kind of hey, what do you guys do? Hey, what do you guys do? It just dawns on you that this is service and volunteering. It's like an antidote to selfishness. Right? Is that there's so much in our own hearts, but there's so much in our culture that says, look at me, the world is about me, it's my kingdom, everybody else is just visitors, okay? The reality is we are all in this together. And I heard this saying just the other day, that the value of a life is measured by how much of that life is given away. And so the opportunities that you guys are providing with the days of service, with these amazing organizations that help people's lives. And sometimes it's a direct way, sitting with patients, listening, caring, whatever. Sometimes it's indirect, like with the Walk for Water, where you're volunteering to help this event go on so that they can raise funds and awareness for this, so that then people can have water. So even if you're 3 steps removed, you're still impacting somebody's life. And at the end of the day, you can be as rich or wild and famous as you want, but you're going to be judged by and valued by how much of your life you've given away. And so thank you for doing Days of Service. It's really exciting.
What would you say, Jordan, is the most exciting part about Days of Service?
Oh gosh, there's so much.
Or favorite parts?
Favorite parts. Like I said, I really like getting to know everybody. Working with the staff is really nice. I really love that Days of Service allows us to serve in many different aspects. So outside of just working at the hospital, I also get to do things like Walk for Water, and I was able to be introduced to something that I had no idea even existed. And I was able to know that not only does it exist, but they're making an impact right now in our own community. And because sometimes when you look at issues, it can seem so big. And like, where do I even start? So I love that Days of Service allows you to get plugged in your own community and make a difference exactly where you are. So that was one really good one. And then we also partnered with the Augusta Dream Center, and we did a service day with them. We did various things. Some of us would sort clothes, for they have a clothing closet. Some of us helped clean up. There's a food pantry that's open 5 or 6 days a week. Anyone that needs food, you can go in and get what you need, no questions asked, for you and your family. And that's something that's in the heart of Augusta. That's in our own area. And those are places that, if it weren't for Days of Service, I may not have known that those existed. And those are opportunities and places that you can go serve and keep making an impact.
What would y'all say to someone who may be feeling a little bit hesitant about registering for Days of Service?
Just do it. The worst thing that could happen is you don't find something that clicks for you. And if that's the case, then there's going to be so many people there and so many resources that they can introduce you to other places and other connections. There's so many needs in our community, and everyone is gifted differently. And I truly believe that there is something for you that you can be doing. There is something that is just your exact niche and your exact talents, and there is a need, and you can fill that need.
Well, I want to echo that. Is that one thing I like about Days of Service is that there's the wide variety, right? Mm-hmm. There's the wide variety, and so people can find their passion, right? So I'm super passionate that communities around the world have clean and fresh water, so that kids don't have to carry buckets of water for 3 miles, and they don't have to drink this water that's going to make them sick. So I'm pretty passionate about that. But I also recognize too that you have passions in other different places, and so the variety is that you just go and look. I would encourage you to go look at the menu or whatever, right? I think there's like over 30 organizations right now. So what stirs you up? Okay, what makes you mad? There shouldn't be dirty water for kids, okay? Or other organizations. There shouldn't be families who don't have access to food. That's not right. And so you follow your passions, and when you're done with this and you're into the day, not only because it's something you're excited about and passionate about, but I think understanding and zooming out for just a moment, maybe as you're driving home from the services, just to thinking that you're part of somebody's story. Okay, and again, I'm just part of the organization planning committee. I'm a very small part, but there is a community somewhere, okay, in Africa, where you're part of their story. Where their story is we didn't have clean water. We had all these disease. Our kids couldn't go to school. We were drinking and eating and bathing in all this dirty water. But part of their story is an organization out of Charleston came and changed their lives. And that's their story they would tell about that organization. But we all know that behind that, there's so many different people so far along. And so you get the opportunity to be part of somebody else's story of victory. And so that's exciting.
For me, because I have participated in Days of Service for a few years, I like the opportunity of finding something that gets me out of my comfort zone as well.
Yes.
Like finding something that's just like, I don't usually do this, but I'll try it for a few hours. I'll try it for the day. Like, we'll see how it goes. And I think being able to find a friend and meeting new friends and being able to just kind of bond for however many hours you're spending volunteering is great, because some of my friends, we have some really good stories from the times that we volunteered. Some of them very funny, some of them in hindsight became funny because we were able to bond after that.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, it's great to kind of, spend that time just doing something that you wouldn't normally do.
Right.
And then, like you mentioned, being able to have that impact, because at the end of the day, you are impacting people, regardless of whatever you're doing. Are there any, final thoughts that y'all have on volunteering or getting folks involved with this year's Days of Service?
I say go. put it on your calendars, put it in bright red or whatever you need to do so you remember it, and just go. It's at the very least you can get information, and you can, if you're in a season where you're really busy, you can at least get information and keep it in your back pocket for later when you do have some time. But one thing I learned for sure is like you have time for the things that you make time for. So like I'm a full-time student, I work 2 and 3 jobs, I volunteer at my church, and so I don't have a ton of time. But because I found something that it's, like you said, it stirs me, it's something that I'm very passionate about, I find that this is something that I can make time for. And there's seasons where sometimes, even then, with all the passion you might have, it just doesn't work for your schedule, and that's okay. But you should absolutely still go and just get that information and just see if there's something you can be doing.
Well, I would echo that. Just go. That's
Just
pretty
go.
much where we're at. And you said earlier, too, that you can do it with friends. And you can do, there's not a whole lot of obstacles, right? Because you choose the where, you choose the when, you choose the what, and you choose the who. And so grab some friends, make some memories, okay? I do encourage you guys, whoever's watching this now, okay? Look in the camera. You, okay? I do encourage you, don't wait.
No.
Don't wait, because the longer that you just wait and simmer, I'll look at it tomorrow, I'll talk to my buddy next week, the longer that you wait, the less likely you're going to be able to sign up, and the less likely you will miss out. You're going to miss out on really the story of the lifetime, an impactful story, but also just like you said, just the memories of just a couple guys, a couple buddies, doing something good for somebody, making a difference, and just stepping out of your comfort zone. You're never going to regret it. So, click the button. Click it now. Right?
Go.
Yes, if you are watching this, you can register now for any day of service project on JagPulse. Registration is open until the end of the month, so do not wait. Find some projects, find some friends to register. We look forward to all of the memories that you are creating. Jeff, Jordan, thanks so much for being here. I'm looking forward to registering this year. I'm sure y'all are looking forward to meeting some new folks for Days of Service this year, and we're going to get some more folks signed up.
Awesome.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us
It's
on
great.
here.
Hey there, In the Wild fans. I'm Mike Kessler, one of the co-captains of Team Jaguar.
And I'm Garrett Green, also a co-captain. We're here to tell you about an incredible opportunity to make a real impact at Augusta University.
That's right, Garrett. We're gearing up for Pace Day 2023, and we want you to join us.
Paceline is all about riding together to fight cancer. But it's not just a bike ride, it's a chance to fund innovative research at the Georgia Cancer Center.
Last year, we raised over $400,000, funding 9 groundbreaking research projects at Augusta University's Georgia Cancer Center.
And this year's ride on October 15th offers routes for all skill levels, from 1 mile up to 70 miles.
Join or create a sub-team within Team Jaguar. Donate, volunteer, every effort counts.
Let's ride toward a cancer-free future together. Please join us in the fight against cancer. Together, we can make a difference.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to In the Wild. I am Rayshawn Ricks, your host, and today we have a very special episode because we are talking about the community, talking about AU, and all the things that are happening surrounding the community this fall. And we have a special guest to kind of get us started for some of the stuff happening this fall. He is a small business banker for Security Federal Bank. He's also an AU alum, and he is the president of the AU Alumni Society. So give a warm welcome to Mr. Kyle Scott.
Thank you, Rayshawn. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no, thank you. This is great.
Yeah, so getting started, could you talk a little bit about your AU student experience? Because you've been on campus for some time, and I feel like you have a lot of stories to...
Yeah. So I came here in '98. I graduated high school in '97, did a year at another university in Georgia, and came here in '98 as well. I was a walk-on on the AU Augusta State University, basketball team back then. So we have a banner up in Christenberry. We're the first ones to hang a banner up there. So the success that they've had, we were the back they stood on to get there, I think. But came as a walk-on student athlete. Campus looked a lot different back then than it does now. We didn't have the roundabout. All Good Hall wasn't there. Science Building wasn't there. There was a road that went from Catherine Street to Arsenal, and then we had the 6 Arsenal buildings, and that's where we went to school. It was a completely different experience than what the kids get here now. But still some good times. So I've seen it progress from the 6 Arsenal buildings to the Science Building being built to the, Allgood Hall being built to what it is today, which is a great institution.
So for me, I came to campus in fall of 2013. So what campus hasn't changed much from then. Besides a couple of name changes.
Yeah.
But
We won't talk about those.
yeah, we don't have to talk about those. But I've always been curious. What did the Arsenal buildings look like? Like, because I know they were converted from.
Yeah. So they looked like 3 or 6 long rectangular brick buildings. Like, it wasn't pretty. I mean, you could tell that there was a military aspect to it at some point in time. It was just 6 buildings, 3 in a row, one, and that was it. I mean, it was what you would look at, kind of the building we're in now. That's what it looked like. I mean, it was just a plain brick building. Nothing, no beauty to it at all. It was very institutional, I guess would be a word to say for it. And it's funny you say that you came in 2013 because when you came to school, I was working for Health Center Credit Union, soon to be Georgia's own credit union. And I was doing the new student orientations. So I probably spoke at your orientation when you were an incoming freshman about the credit union when you started school here. So
Yeah, I actually remember you coming to our orientation leader trainings to talk as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, small world.
Yeah, very small, especially in Augusta, Georgia.
But yeah, what was it like, I guess, just being a student here during that time, when it was still Augusta State?
Yeah, so it was honestly, it was a commuter school back then. We didn't have dorms. I stayed in an apartment complex, like most students if they didn't stay at home. And a lot of kids would come just their first year or two and transfer to Georgia or Georgia Tech or wherever. There wasn't a whole lot of student activities going on. Certainly not what they have today. So the majority of the college experience was, the college parties at College Station apartments, which aren't even there anymore. I don't even know what that apartment complex is called anymore. But a lot of my experience was with other student athletes for the first year or two, and then I got married young, and then I was I guess you would say a non-traditional student at that point because I was married and would come to school and then go to work. So and that was my that was really a lot of my experience. The craziest thing I probably did was my last year. I just got tired of going to school. I was ready to be out. And my last 3 semesters of school, so spring, fall, and winter, I did 18 hours in the spring, 12 hours in the summer, and 18 hours in the fall. And I put probably 2 years of school in a year. And
wow.
That was probably the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life.
No, yeah, I took 18 hours one semester, or no, 16 hours one semester, and I thought I was
Yeah, it's a lot.
18 is tough.
It's a lot. It was a lot, but I was ready. I was ready to get out into the world and to graduate, and luckily didn't graduate with any student loans, and wanted to keep it that way. So it was let's get it done, and did it, and it was tough, but you learn a lot about yourself doing stuff like that. So
besides basketball, were you involved in anything else on campus?
No, basketball was for the 98-99 year, and then I wanted to be a student, and it was school, and changed majors a couple of times, but graduated as a finance major, and that major then was, as I'm sure it is probably now, still very, very tough to get. It was a lot of work put into that degree. It was underestimated the amount of math that was required in it.
Would you say Or what would you say is one of your most memorable moments from being on campus?
Graduation.
Of course. Of
Well, I
course.
was a first generation college graduate in my family, so it was a big deal. Graduation was a big deal. You know, I was in one of the Arsenal buildings when 9/11 happened. I'll never forget it. I left Dr. Leitner's econ class, walked across the hall to Dr. Styron's accounting class, and a student walked in and said the trade centers were hit. And
Oh, wow.
remember just being, that's crazy. It's probably a commuter plane. You go home, and I get home because Styron was my last class of the day, in time to see one of the towers fall down. And then just the kind of how they suspended classes, I think, for the next day here, but then when we all came back, there were American flags on the back of trucks, and it was just it just felt different, as I'm sure the entire country did at that point. But those two were probably my most memorable, outside of athletics.
And now you have your daughter actually starting.
Yeah, she's a second gen Jag. She's a freshman this year, biology major, so we're very proud of her.
So what is that like being able? Because you were also speaking at convocations, so
Yeah.
that's like a full circle moment. You
Yeah,
be
as a
back
matter
on
of fact,
campus.
I said that in my personal remarks, that it was a full circle moment. So yeah, my daughter started this semester. She looked at a couple of different schools, and of course, I always was nudging the AU point, but understood if she wanted to go away from school away from Augusta to go to school. But she's a biology major, not the typical biology major. She's leaning towards more of the kind of the ecology conservation piece of it, as opposed to probably what 90% of biology majors are wanting to go pre-med or something like that. So she's taking a little bit different spin on it, but that was a pretty proud moment when she said she was going to come here. So it was pretty cool. And then my niece also started as a freshman as well. So I got two family members that are
A family
freshmen
full of
right now.
Jags.
That's right. And my wife's a double Jag. So, we bleed the school through and through. So
And what was it like speaking at convocation?
that was pretty cool, because we didn't have a freshman convocation when I came, or if we did, I didn't know about it, didn't go to it. That was pretty cool. It's pretty awesome to see the school, kind of doing what some of the bigger schools like Georgia and Georgia Tech are doing with getting freshmen involved early and having them have the events like the convocation and the pinning ceremony and things like that, because we didn't have that when I went. So it's awesome to see that they're getting them involved and working towards keeping them here, so that we have more Jags out and about in the community.
Yeah, I still have my class pin from my convocation.
That's
it's
pretty
like
cool.
It's like a prized possession
Yeah.
in my apartment of like, don't know why touch it. That's only for my like cap and gown.
That's right.
But switching gears a little bit to talk about the alumni Brew N Que, could you kind of tell our listeners what the event is about?
Sure. So the Alumni Brew N Que is an event that we've done for it's the 20th year. It's really the 21st year. We skipped a year because of COVID. So this is the 20th year. So we've been doing this as long as I've been out of school. But what it is it's a barbecue. Sconyers Barbecue locally caters it. We have a band come in. This year is the Mason Jars, which has a pretty large local following, as does Sconyers Barbecue. But it's an event for the community and for the school to come together and raise money for scholarships for the Summerville campus. So it used to be the cap-off event to A-Day, which was a long community event, and then we'd reveal how much money we've raised over that campaign. And then, it's changed several times since, the merger with MCG and name changes and things like that. But it's just a community event for everybody to come together, eat some good food, listen to good music, has a fantastic fireworks show at the end, and it all benefits scholarships for the Summerville campus.
Out of the points you mentioned, what would you say is something that you're most excited about for this event?
I'm excited for the Mason Jars to come in. They bring a huge following with them. They have they play good music, and they have a have been around for a while, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, my friends and I, as soon as the flyer went out, I had just took a screenshot, sent it to my friends, like, look, we're going this year. I didn't go last year, but I've gone before, and I'm like, yep, it's going to be a group effort. Like, we're all going to come hang out this year.
Yeah, it's great. It's a wonderful. And of course, they have things for the kids, so we'll have bounce houses for the kids and things, face painting and stuff like that. And then, the fireworks is what caps it all off at the end. And I haven't seen fireworks in the area better. And that includes the one they do in Evans over at Lady A. Ours is better. I'll put it up against any fireworks show in the CSRA for sure.
Yeah, I love a good fireworks show. And for those folks out there who may be watching this and saying like, oh, I don't know if I should go. I don't know if like any of my folks from campus will be there. Like, what would you say to them?
Go anyway. So it's $20 to purchase a ticket. That includes that's your food. That's not entry. So $20 covers your food. Sconyers is extremely generous with the food. It will be more than you can probably eat by yourself, unless you're me. But come and enjoy the music, and you have nothing to lose. It's a great community event. So just go, just do it.
Are there any other events like throughout the year as an alum that you get particularly excited to attend?
Alumni weekend's always fun. You just have people come back in the different events. Alumni weekend has gotten right up there. We used to do back in the old days. We used to do a 5K the day after the barbecue.
Oh, really?
So so we would do. It was called the Jaguar Jaunt. So we would do the barbecue on a Friday night, and then in the morning when you're still full from barbecue, you go run a 5K, but it was through campus. So it would start campus, and it would start in the campus, and then when you would go through the Summerville area, and then through campus, and then you'd finish near the Maxwell Alumni House. So we used to do that, and that was always one of my favorite events. But since we don't do that anymore, probably Alumni Weekend is probably the best one.
Well, we should bring back the Jaguar Jaunt.
We should. Fun. I'm trying to as the president. I would love to bring back the Jaguar Jaunt. We used to do a golf tournament as well called Lauderdale at Forest Hills.
Okay.
I want to bring that one back too. That one was fun too. We used to do a lot of fun events.
So what do we have to do to make the Jaguar Jaunt happen? What goes into it?
There's a lot that goes into it. So you got to have the logistics, and you got to have public safety because they got to stop traffic, and I'm the alumni president for the next 2 years, and that is my goal, is to have this up either the year after I'm gone or the last year I'm the president.
Okay.
So it's not a lot that's not outside of the logistics of the course and people. Having public safety, block off traffic and getting people to sign up. It's not a lot of overhead to it. It's not a huge thing because, you throw some bananas on the table and some granola bars and water, and you get people out there to go run. And we always did it in October, so it was, fairly cool in the morning. So it was always a nice event.
I'm sure we can make it happen.
We're gonna make it happen.
Is there anything else that you get to do as alumni president?
Well, speaking at convocation was a new one. I think I'm speaking at the graduations in December and in the spring, and then also when we do alumni weekend and we do the Summerville awards banquets, I will MC that as well, and then different, spattering of different events throughout the year.
So it keeps you busy.
Yeah, it keeps me busy, but it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun busy, so it's not too bad.
Anything else before we let you go? Final thoughts about Brew N Que, Alumni Association?
Yeah, no, come to the Brew N Que. We want to see you at the Brew N Que. It serves a great purpose. It funds alumni scholarships. There's no better purpose for this university than that. If you're an alum and you're hearing this, get involved. We would love to have some new blood on the alumni board. Fresh ideas, new takes on things that we're already doing. So if you're an alum, get involved. Come to the Brew N Que. If you're a student, get involved in stuff on campus. Get that affinity up. come to the Brew N Que. It's worth the $20 ticket.
So I hope to see all y'all there because I'm going to be there. Kyle, of course, is going to be there.
Absolutely.
So don't just meet us there, beat us there. And thanks, Kyle, for being here.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.